coal is that the fanatics' perception of success only serves to embolden those who seek to kill us. The extreme nature of this murderous mens rea is illustrated in an article in the London Telegraph, which reports, quote, that a husband and wife arrested in the British terror raids allegedly planned to take their 6-month-old baby on a mid-air suicide mission using the baby's milk bottle to hide a liquid bomb. The story is shocking on many levels, but perhaps so disturbing is that it shatters the belief that mothers and fathers share a common commitment to the future of their children. We face an enemy which subscribes to an ideology rooted in a nihilistic culture of death. This contemporary version of the will to power seeks justification for a totalist worldview through the abuse of a religion to camouflage its deeper roots. As Paul Berman has chronicled in Terrorism and Liberalism, this fascist-like ideology arrives out of the revisionism of Said al-Khatib when he taught that there was no middle ground and no possibility of compromise. Bin Laden became interested in a radical distortion of Islam from the fiery taped sermons of Abdul Azzam, a disciple of al-Khatib, and came to share Khatib's grim view of the world and used to justify mass murder. By the late 1980s, following the crackdown by the Egyptian government on the extreme Islamist groups in response to the assassination of Sadat in '81, many of the Islamic militants went into exile. It was through the presence of Egyptian Islamist teachers in Saudi Arabia that bin Laden and other al-Qaeda members were influenced, most notably Ayman al-Zawahiri, a leader of the Egyptian Islamic Jihad. Another avenue by which this totalist ideology was introduced to the Middle East came via the Vichy government of France during World War II, which, despite its short shelf life, infected the French-mandated territory of Syria, Lebanon. It was during this time that the ideological foundations of the Ba'athist Party were laid, and a Nazi regime headed by Rashid Ali was set up in Iraq. During the same period, the Mufti of Jerusalem was wined and dined by none other than Hitler itself. The point is that there were some very dark influences on this region of the world which are still playing themselves out today. We cannot believe that our absence from this area will solve problems and allow us to retreat. We must make no mistake about their intentions. They seek to kill us. Ayman al-Zawahiri, al-Qaeda's second in command, has left us with no ambiguity on the matter when he states that they have the right to kill 4 million Americans, 2 million of them children, and to exile twice as many and wound and cripple hundreds of thousands. No, we must not give such people a misapprehension about any misguided notions they may have about their providential place in history. Although our ultimate objective in Iraq is to hand over power in an orderly fashion to a duly constituted government, the manner in which we do so is of the highest order of importance. That's what I don't hear from the other side. It is not just the question of peace being the absence of war. It is what we will have in the aftermath. What kind of a world will we have in the Middle East? Will it be safer for our children and our grandchildren? Will the implications of our decisions be heard in history as something of which we will be proud? Or will it be just that we got tired of the effort and we believe that by absenting ourselves from the area, that solved problems? It has never been the case. It wasn't the case when we got out of Lebanon following the attack on our Marines. It was not the place when we basically got out of the area after the USS Cole. Again, independent of the origins of al-Qaeda's presence in Iraq, the relevant point is how al-Qaeda itself perceives the war there. For it is their potential reaction to our Iraqi policy which is most relevant. In this regard, the intercepted letter sent by al-Zawahiri to al-Zarqawi is most important and has been mentioned on this floor many times. He said, "We must think for a long time about our next steps and how we want to attain it, and it is my humble opinion that the jihad in Iraq requires several incremental goals. First stage, expel the Americans from Iraq. Second stage, establish an Islamic authority or emirate and then develop it and support it until it achieves the level of caliphate over as much territory as you can spread its power in Iraq and Sunni areas in order to fill the void stemming from the departure of the Americans. Third stage, extend the jihad wave to the secular countries of neighboring Iraq. Fourth stage, go after Israel. It is therefore clear that regardless of how we might wish the situation to be, wishful thinking, as described in this resolution, is not a basis for policy. Al-Qaeda is present in Iraq, and they perceive it to be a central front in the war. It is simply not possible for us to pretend otherwise as much as we would like it. This resolution does nothing to help us in this war against Islamic fascism. In fact, it goes in the opposite direction.
Gentleman from America.